and welcome to TalkRx with Dr. Neha. I have a special guest, Tom, who I've known actually for a few years. I happen to be in San Diego, and he was gracious enough to say that he would come and ask his communication question so all of you can learn as he does as well. So welcome, Tom.
Well, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Yes, it feels so great to be back.
Yeah.
You do live in one of the best places around.
We do. We're very blessed.
So tell me, I did some communication work with you guys a while ago.
You did.
So you're a little familiar with all of this. What communication question are you thinking about?
The communication I have is with my wife, who, it's just the two of us. We don't have any children.
Yep.
We can tell the dogs what to do. It's difficult to, so they pretty much just go along with whatever say. But the communication I have is to be able to communicate when I have a disagreement with my wife or I don't like what she does.
Yep.
The communication problem is she doesn't like the way I say it. I've tried every different approach and I've pretty much given up. So which way? So I just say yes to her most of the time now.
Yeah, but that's not what you're feeling inside.
No, because it causes a lot. They're little things, but
Yeah.
they just kind of build and build and build.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, it's like,
Yeah.
you didn't do this and you didn't do this. And then we don't speak for the evening. So.
And then you give the whole list of all the things she didn't do.
Exactly.
It's not so effective.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so how about we kind of work through a way that maybe you can do it differently?
Okay. Do you have a magic wand? Or?
It's called the Magic Communication Wand.
Okay.
So tell me how you know something bothers you. What is it that would bother you? Give me an example.
The mail piling up on the kitchen counter, day after day after day after day.
And then it's like it could topple.
It could topple. It could topple.
And I'm not sure that that's what you're worried about. Okay, give me another example. What's something else?
Just papers and magazines, and it's the same in the same theme or in completely.
No, I mean I'm seeing a theme.
There's a theme. It's
physical,
it's just things just don't get thrown away in the house, and I just don't understand it. I'm a very much an orderly, neat person, and I want all the little ducks to be in the row all the time.
Yeah.
And there's just too many ducks, and they're all kind of climbing on top of each other.
So how long have you been married?
We've been married 20 years.
Okay. So one would say you're a veteran at this, right? This is something you've been doing for a while.
Yes.
Okay. And one of the things that you struggle most with is when you see a physical mess outside, right? Something outside in your environment.
Yeah, right.
Right? And it triggers what inside you? So give me your physical sensations. How do you know that all of a sudden that's like the third day that the mail is piling up? Like, here we go again.
I think I take a deep breath.
But before that, before you know you need to take a deep breath, tell me what you're experiencing.
Frustration.
Okay. And how do you know in your body physically that you're frustrated? So like heart racing, stomach turning, tight muscles.
Tense. I think it's just tense. Just everything is tense.
Okay, so you get really tense inside.
Right.
Okay, and in that moment, it's like, it's going to be hard to take a soft, deep breath when you're so tense.
Right. I try it, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do 3 next time.
Okay.
And they're not short, shallow breaths. It's actually softening your abdomen and letting gravity pull your shoulders down, right? And expanding your abdomen, which is the opposite of what society tells us we can do, right? But when you soften the muscles of your abdomen, the rest of your muscles relax. So one thing that might be happening for sure is each time you come to her, even with different ways you want to approach this, you're still coming with that constricted, that space, which no matter what comes out of your mouth, it's going to be tough to receive.
Pretty much.
So here we go. So the first thing is noticing it's tense muscles.
Right.
The second is knowing that you are going to relax into it, take a deep breath, and you're going to notice you're getting triggered. So tell me, growing up, tell me who was messy in your life. Was there anyone that you thought kept the room, messy, or someone who didn't keep things in order?
No, our house was very orderly growing up.
Aha.
My father, all his ducks were in a row. I grew up in New York, so we had basements. If you went, all the dishes were, all the things in the shelves in the basement were absolutely aligned right in a row. Almost, I mean, everything was picked up, and we were always cleaning in our house growing up. On the weekends that we had to clean.
That was like your version of play.
You know
Let's
what?
clean.
Yeah, it was. We had to pick up. We had to do this. We were always doing things. That's a really interesting question. That everything was always orderly.
Yeah. And so, did you like that growing up? Did you love cleaning all the time, like even on the weekends?
I can't say I didn't or did.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember.
So, what did it provide you? What did that sense
Order.
of order?
Order.
Right. So, safety, probably.
Probably safety, yes.
Okay. And I'm wondering, how emotionally connected did you feel to your dad and to your mom? And did you guys spend time kind of?
Well, I'm one of 6 kids, so we weren't all that close. It was, this is what you do.
Yeah, you were told.
Yes, we were told.
Okay. So what's interesting is the physical order of the house was in order,
It was.
but the emotional piece of that,
It was not.
it was not addressed.
No.
Okay. So now, fast forward.
It's going to be tough to go back.
Yeah, and guess what?
Yeah.
There's no hope of a better past.
Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
No, there is no hope.
There's no hope of a better past.
Correct.
There is a lot of hope to create a better future.
Okay.
So now let's fast forward. Now you're here, right? And you notice the mail piling up, whatever that is. And if order used to create safety, a mess would create chaos.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those are the words I was thinking.
And not only that, you never were taught, actually, if we would call emotions can be a little ambiguous. They can be volatile. They can be explosive. They can be intense. That could be considered messy. And in your house, everything needs to be in order.
Exactly.
Okay. So when you see that physical mess externally, it's actually not anything to do with that physical mess. It actually triggers an emotional chaos inside you. And that you don't know how to get in order. So what you do is you want to make the things outside that trigger that go away. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
And that is an endless game. Because one thing's for sure, you've been married to this amazing woman for 20 years.
I have.
And there's something you're really getting out of it.
Yes, this is like one of the very few things that bug me.
Right?
I know, I'm really lucky.
And what if this experience was just to help you, right? Figure out how to now embark on taking care of the emotional piece of this inside you?
You mean just a paper shredder right by the front door wouldn't help?
That is not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that temporarily will alleviate your experience of feeling uncomfortable. But the real work is, how do you now start navigating your emotions in a way that's clear and clean and able to be navigated in partnership? Make sense?
It does make sense.
So as long as you make her putting the, mail in a pile or leaving papers as a mess the problem, this will never be resolved.
Can you repeat that?
As soon as you, as long as you make her piling up the papers or leaving a mess as the problem, this will never get resolved.
I got it.
As soon as you say, hey, honey, I notice that what happens when I see this external mess is that it triggers emotional chaos for me. And then I'm interacting with you in a way where I literally feel sometimes a little crazy. Like I'm reacting and I can't communicate with this woman I love that I've been with for so long. And it creates turmoil between us. I'd love to figure out, help me understand how we can do this in a way that works for both of us. And I'd like to start working on I'd love you to give me feedback. And I'm going to start working on how to navigate my emotions.
Okay.
Yeah, does it sound reasonable?
Very reasonable.
Okay. And I wrote an awesome book since the last time I saw you.
Okay.
It's called TalkRx.
Okay.
And I'll actually give you a copy of it before you leave, because the middle 5 sections are solely dedicated to emotions. And I talk about tears, anger, and anxiety, and how to manage them in ourselves and in the face of others.
Okay.
So, sound like a deal?
It sounds like a deal.
Okay, tell me your takeaways.
Is that, well, I really need to take the 3 deep breaths and relax when I feel this tension building in me. And then to have a conversation with my wife about that it's not the physical mess, but it's the emotional. Yeah. It is the physical mess is triggering an emotion in me.
Yeah.
And I have to work on that. And hey, we're getting along great.
Yeah.
Can you help me with that?
Yeah, and can you give me feedback? I'm going to try things a little bit differently. And in my household, everything being neat and orderly meant everything was safe. Mm-hmm. And so there's this way that I go into this place of not feeling safe and uncontrolled. In that moment, I react. And that's what I want to help you work with me on. And I think if she understood that, she would be willing to work with you.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So thank you
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
Yes, absolutely. And so for all of you at home, if you know that things getting messy in your physical world triggers you inside, you want to ask yourself, what does it mean to have things all nice and neat and orderly? And most importantly, might this external mess be dividing you from people that you love because you keep focusing on that physical external mess? When the truth is, it creates an internal emotional chaos that you're unable to deal with. And so therefore you focus on somebody else's physical mess. So thanks for joining us, and I will see you next week.